Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, my name is Tina and I'm from New York. Did I just shake the camera? So I wanted to do a New Year's Eve sparkly, super dramatic, purple, cut crease makeup look. I wanted to do cut crease because I've actually never done it before. I think I've tried it one time and it came out awful. My lids have extra skin. What that means is they're more wrinkly than most people who are in their 20s and younger, but they've always been that way, so I'm kind of used to it now. I think the last time I tried to cut crease I was still getting used to myself and experimenting more, and it just was not working out. So it's still not as cut as say Nikki Tutorials would do, or Patrick Starr would do, or somebody that you see doing a fucking amazing cut crease. But you have to remember their eyelids are super tight. So like Candace, she could do a beast cut crease and like it comes out flawless. But on me, it's still going to look like they morphed together. It's hard to explain. It's still gonna look like they kind of shaded together, I would say. I don't know how to explain it, but it's not going to look as cut as I would have wanted it to be because the folds will always overlap. So this is the best I could do, and I figured if you do have tight lids, then it's going to come out amazing on you. And if you have lids like mine, which are wrinkly, extra skin, however you want to call them, this is a way for you to try it where it's still going to come out pretty cut. And it's also so dramatic. But I just want you to keep in mind that I did a lot of steps to achieve this eye makeup look. If you didn't want it as dramatic with all the sparkles and the super dark corners, you could stop somewhere in the middle and stop applying the extra shades and put on your lashes and you're done. So just keep that in mind. You don't have to do it exactly the way I did. I just wanted to show you the techniques. I also tried new products in this video. A couple of things that were given to me, a couple of things that I purchased myself, and I just wanted to just introduce some new products just because I feel like I'm repeating a lot of the same shit. So anyway, also I wanted to include that my nail color is Marshmallow by Essie, and I requested only one coat of the color because I hate drying. And my self tanner right now, I'm only saying this because I get the same question every single time, so let me find it. Okay, so my self tanner is Jergens Instant Sun. I got this at Target very recently, and this is with putting on 2 layers. So the first layer looks a little bit more natural, like really golden, and it's my first time using it, so I wanted to see how it looks with the second layer on. And so far on camera it looks super orange, but I don't hate it. So far so good. It was only 10 bucks, and there's a coupon on it that says save $3, dries in 60 seconds, which I like because I'm too impatient to like stay naked and wait for that shit to dry. And it's not the type where you need to put it on and then shower an hour later. You just put it on and you're good. And it's a mousse, so it's a sunless tanning mousse, and I do recommend it if you're into self tanners. I'm definitely into self tanners. I don't go in the tanning bed, I don't go in the sun, so to get some color. And this is a dress. It's from BB, but it's from a really long time ago, and that's why it keeps like falling, because the top is super big on me. I feel like it's not supposed to fit that way. It's supposed to like show really bomb cleavage, but I have none. So it's just a regular top for me. And that's really it. Oh, and these earrings are from Happiness Boutique. I'll put the name down below in case you want a pair. They're more on the higher price side of earrings, but they are super gorgeous. And this particular set, I'm checking if they're heavy. I haven't been wearing them that long today, so they're not that heavy, but they have the potential to be the ones that are like, oh, I have to take them out. If you like how this makeup came out, then please keep watching and give it a thumbs up and read the description below, and yeah, that's it. Bye. So as usual, I'm going to prime my eyes using Benefit Stay Don't Stray eye primer. I love this eye primer. It's such a good shade and formula to prime your eyelids for eyeshadow. And I like to use the applicator, but then go in with a Real Techniques brush. I mentioned this before, but I'm not so sure that this brush is even, I don't know what it's for. These brushes don't have a number on them. They're just a special edition, but there's not that many, so you'll be able to recognize it if you wanted to pick it up. I do really like it, but I think they're a little expensive. I'm gonna use my favorite MAC palette, the Carly Bybel palette, and the Anastasia Self-Made palette, and these new Beauty Junkie brushes. And of course, to create depth in my crease, I'm using Bamboo by MAC. And then I'm going to use these mauve shades from the Carly Bybel palette. So using this Beauty Junkie pencil brush, and I'll list all the brush details below, I'm using the lightest mauve shade to start building that crease color, and then blending it out with this Beauty Junkie blending brush. And I'm just making sure it's blended out really nice because this is the lightest purple shade out of those three. And I'm going to work in the darker shades. So with the second purple shade, it's hard to explain because they're not numbered, but you could see it if you rewind back to the palette. Using the second darkest shade, going in a second time and creating another layer of depth with the same Beauty Junkie pencil brush. And of course I'm blending that out again. This is just the way that I like to build in my colors to make sure they're super blended first. Now using the darkest purple shade, this is where you create, you start really sculpting out your crease and start lining how you want it to be shaped and how you want it to look and how high you want it to be and how extended you want it to be. So you could see that I didn't want it too high. I did want it right above the crease because my eyelids are wrinkly, and I did want it to be somewhat of a wing, so I'm just blending that out a little bit more. And this is a buildable process. You don't want to put way too much right away because that's how you get your shit fucked up. So build in your color, especially if this is one of the first times that you're trying. And now going in with Fudge from, oh no, it's Hot Chocolate, sorry, from the Self-Made palette. It's a really warm brown shade, or maybe it's not too warm. I think it's actually cool or neutral. I'm adding that to the crease as well because I didn't want to do black, so I figured this deep brown shade will look way better with all the purples that I'm using. And I'm using purple because it's my favorite color and it looks pretty with green eyes. This is LA Girl Cosmetics eye primer in the nude color, and I'm using a flat concealer brush to start patting it on. The reason it was in a little pot is because it's easier for me to work with, so I depotted the LA Girl eye primer myself into that little pot thing, and then I always use a brush to apply it. This is a flat concealer brush and it doesn't have any markings on it, so I actually don't know where it's from, but any eyeliner and sharp edge brush will work great. And this is where I start to sculpt out how I want it to be cut, and I figured using a eyeshadow primer would work best because I'm going to apply eyeshadow right on top of it anyway. And this one's super thick, it's almost like concealer, except the formula is made for it to stick to eyeshadow. And my lids are extra wrinkly, so this is definitely a buildable process. It's not easy whatsoever, but if your eyelids are tight, it's probably going to be much easier for you. And then the outside is where you really want it to be super clean. And you don't want to use too much product because that's how it will start to crease even more. And just adding a little bit more darkness to the crease. It's okay to go back and forth as long as you take it slow and don't use a heavy hand right away. That's the best way it can come out better. I feel like I'm saying way so much, I'm sorry. But, you know, just build in your colors instead of trying to pack it on too much. To make sure they're even, I run a brush across my eyes to see if it will level up, kind of like using a level, and it did. Now using the shimmer shade, this light pink shimmer shade from the Carly Bybel palette, and I believe that's a concealer brush, but a lot of my brushes were dirty, so I was getting weird with the brushes. But basically for this type of color, you want to use a synthetic flat eyeshadow brush. that's the best way to pack on the pigment of the eyeshadow rather than using something fluffy, especially with shimmers. So I'm making sure it's super, super packed on so it shows from the cut crease. And then right on top, I'm going to use Pink Champagne from the Self-Made palette to make it extra sparkly. I love Pink Champagne. They make it individually as well, so I have it in my own palette and then I have it in the Self-Made palette. I think it's just such a pretty color because you can layer it on top of other colors as well. But for this one, I wanted to keep it really cool and super purple looking. I love purple. So now using the Lit Cosmetics glue and an art brush, I'm going to apply some glue right on top of the shadow. Now I personally applied way too much, so don't apply that much. And this is a Wet n Wild Sparkle pigment that I picked up in like a drugstore, and another art brush. You could see where I fucked up with all the glue. It went above into my, it transferred up into my crease. I closed my eyes too quick before it was tacky. I should have like not close them at all, but I'll fix it. But now you guys can see for when you try it, don't put that much glue. And I use art brushes for glitter because I hate getting it on my brushes. I hate getting glitter on my brushes. So now to correct where I fucked up my own crease, I'm darkening the other side to make sure it's even, blending it out, and then I'll go back over to the other eye so I can fix where I layered on way too much glue. And of course blending it out as well. I'm just going in with the same pencil brush because it's already on there, and for tighter lids this would have looked way more cut, but because I have wrinkly lids it does transfer over the shades, but that's okay. So now I'm not putting my liner on camera, but it is the Sephora liquid liner and I ran out of wipes, so I'm using the straight makeup remover and a liner brush to clean up the edges. So I just dampen my brush a little bit and clean up underneath the wings to make sure they're perfect, and use a tissue to take off the excess oil because makeup remover oil is way too much. And of course I'm priming my skin using Ole Henriksen Pure Truth Activating Oil. For me this really makes my skin glow before applying makeup, and I have really dry skin. I use the excess to put on my hands so that way they don't age as well. A tiny bit of Professional by Benefit. A little bit goes a long way with this product. You really do want to use as little as possible, but it will still work phenomenal, so don't worry about it. You don't need a lot. And correcting all my darkness, you could see where it's like super greenish purple under my eyes and around my mouth. That's where I have darkness, and I always put a little bit by my nose too because I feel like it's dark there. And I like to brighten my skin underneath the foundation using yellow, but it also corrects redness. So if you have any rosacea or red tones on your skin, you want to use a yellow corrector. This foundation brush is by Eve Pearl. They did gift me a bunch of stuff. I'll be honest, I didn't like the cosmetics, but this brush is life. I'm telling you, one of my favorite brushes. So this is the flat side to apply foundation or your product. And then the other side is more like a kabuki, but it's one of the most bomb kabukis ever in the entire world. It's just like the best foundation brush. And I usually don't even like double-ended brushes, but this one is life. I'm obsessed with it. It's so freaking good. It just blends so well for a brush. And taking a banana break. Using a beauty blender and my favorite two foundations, Ultra HD foundation mixed with Cover FX Custom Drops. I tried filming a tutorial using a different foundation and it did not come up even nearly as beautiful as this combination, so I apologize for repeating myself with foundation, but I still can't find one better than these two mixed together. It's photogenic and then it's really gorgeous in person, so you don't look caked on. And I was watching a YouTube video, so that's probably why I was smiling. It was someone being funny, but I can't remember who it was. So I'm packing this in with a beauty blender and using my favorite concealer. This is Maybelline Fit Me in medium, and that's how I'm going to conceal. And I put it over any blemishes or anywhere that I feel like needs more coverage than foundation can do. But you know, it's concealer, so I'm using it to conceal. Duh. And using my beauty blender, I'm blending that out as well. I'm obsessed with beauty blenders too. Like, I just love them. I wish I had 4 million. If you don't have one, it's worth the investment, so definitely pick one up and change it out every few months. Now this is Maybelline Fit Me in Sand. It's definitely a lighter shade, but it's very golden. So I love how it highlights my face. I personally don't use a highlight from a contour palette. I have a bunch, but I just like this better so far. So maybe that'll change in the future, but right now this is my favorite highlight. And I also blend this out with a beauty blender. And I'm doing my eyes first so that way I can set them right away because I crease like a bitch. Under my eyes is super wrinkly and I crease so much, so I have to do my under eyes right away and set them right away. Using Laura Mercier translucent setting powder. The setting powder is the bomb. That's why I keep using it. And this is a Morphe brush. I can't remember the number, but I'll list it below. And I'm going back in and highlighting the top of my nose, above my cupid's bow, and a little bit on my forehead, and then my chin, because my chin is much smaller than everything else on my face. And I'm blending that out as well. And this video is pre-lip injection, so I didn't have the injections yet, because if you're watching this video, you probably already know that I got my lip injections, and I will be filming a whole video about the experience. So if you have questions, leave them below. Using the Tarteist Contour Palette. This palette is so cute and it smells like chocolate. I'm using it to set the rest of where I highlighted because I haven't used it that much yet, so I wanted to see how it would work, and I wanted to show you guys how it would work straight up on camera. And I'm using an OPV brush, and it's a tapered highlighter brush. I love the OPV brushes, by the way. I didn't think I would. I thought it was like all BS, but I honestly do really like them. They've been working so good with no bristles falling. And on the struggle bus with this contour palette, trying to show it to you, the Cover FX Cream Contour. And I love using the shade number 3. And once in a while, I use number 4 if I'm really trying to go for it, as Candace would say. Only when I want an extra dramatic contour, I use number 4. But most of the time, I just use number 3. This palette works so good for me. I have it in golden medium, and I always use this OPV brush. It's the large angled contour. Because the bristles are so long and the way that it's shaped, it helps me blend out my contour so it doesn't look too crazy. It makes me look a lot more golden and blends with how I self-tan. I just think this combo works really well. So I like to do a cream first, and then I'll go back in and set it using a powder. And now I'm setting it using the number 3 powder in the Tarteist Contour Palette, and I really do love how it works so far. It set my face nicely for the highlight, and it's setting my contour really nice. It looks a little, I think it was the lighting, it looks a little crazy up on my forehead, but I swear in person it looked really beautiful. But I probably blended it out a lot more too. The shades are super blendable, and I think the price is a pretty good price. They're pretty large in the pan. I was really happy with it. I'm just like blending it a million times because I don't like a crazy looking contour. Not mean. And of course I'm highlighting Becca Cosmetics with Jaclyn Hill, Champagne Pop, and I have to get another one ASAP before they're all gone. And this is an OPV brush, another tapered highlighting brush, and I like to highlight all those good parts, forehead. I hold the end so that way I can wisp it around instead of it looking too packed on. And of course, I'm using a second, don't tell anyone. This is the Anastasia brush. I love this brush. It's A23. I'm using a tapered brush by Sigma, a huge face tapered brush. I'll leave the number below. I'm applying my blush. I've tried other brushes for blush, and nothing makes it look as blended as this one. And I'm using Coralista from Benefit. And after I do my highlight and my blush, I take the bronzer brush without applying extra product and just blend it together, because sometimes it can leave it looking very stacked instead of all blended. So make sure you go back and blend with your bronzer brush so shit doesn't look crazy. Using a blending brush, this is a MAC 217. I always fuck that up. It's a MAC 217. I'm taking the same mauve colors and just blending it underneath. And then again with a pencil brush, I'm extending the wing and just linking it up with the bottom lash so that way it blends together. I feel like I'm not describing that well, but you could see what I'm doing. And using liquid liner, I'm matching up the lines as well. Not too heavy underneath because the top is extra wild, so I didn't want to go too crazy. And using Billion Dollar Brows, I actually love this little palette, except I don't like the brush that comes with it. So I use my own Essence liner brush, the Essence Cosmetics. This liner brush was only like $2 and it's so fucking bomb for brows. It's probably great for eyeliner too, but I don't use gel liner. It is so amazing for brows. I'm just going back in and darkening up my brows a little bit more because some came off. And using Benefit Gimme Brow, I'm doing the front because I feel like it gives me a more natural brow towards the front. It has little fibers in it to make your brows look thicker, except at the same time really super natural. Like, I'm obsessed with this. I love Gimme Brow. Do you like my holiday music? And now while I glue my lashes, I like to put on my lipstick. So I put on chapstick, line my lips using NYX Rose Brown, and this is Reezy by Lipland Cosmetics and Amrezy collaboration. And right now the glue is getting tacky on my lashes, so that way I can pop them on. I love this liquid lipstick. I also have a review, so if you want to check that out, I'll leave it below on this lipstick. It's bomb and it smells good. These are Goddess lashes by Coco Lashes. They're only $6.99. They're extremely similar to House of Lashes Iconics, so I suggest checking these out if you wanted a cheaper price on the Iconics. They apply so easy too. They apply much easier than House of Lashes. And sometimes I apply my mascara before putting them on, but sometimes I do it after. When I want to go more dramatic, I put my mascara on after I put on my lashes. So that's what I'm doing with Benefit Roller Lash Mascara. And using Sephora liquid liner, again, I'm just cleaning up the lash line and like trying to hide the lashes as best as I can. And you could see like sometimes it gets a little crazy, so I'm just correcting all those spots. And of course, MAC Fix Plus Coconut smells so good. I stocked up on these, but I think I'm running low, so I hope they keep them forever. When you use a bunch of powders, definitely use a setting spray because it takes away that caked look and just makes you look gorgeous. I hope you like this look. I know it's mega dramatic, not for everyone, I completely understand, but I loved it. I love purple, and if you try it out, make sure you use my hashtag and keep watching to check out who I chose for the spotlight. And thank you so much for coming back. Please subscribe, and thanks, and I love you, and bye!